Hello again. Today we're going to talk a little about shopping for a ukulele. Let's start with the sizes. Soprano, concert, tenor, baritone. Here's a soprano. Here's a concert. Notice the bodies are a little different. The neck's a little longer on this one. Larger body means a little bit more sound. If you have a larger neck, sometimes that's good for people because it's a little easier to get their fingers in there. See the difference? All right. Tenor is the larger one, and baritone, it's a matter of just trying it with your body size and see what feels comfortable. Let's talk about sound, playability, and looks. If you decide to purchase your ukulele online, be aware that they should offer you a 30-day refund policy. So if you get it and you play it and you're not really liking it, you have 30 days to return it. Definitely take advantage of that. If you go into a music store, which I highly recommend, you'll see them hanging on the wall like this, which is great because what you want to do is walk up and just start strumming them. You're listening for the sound because each one is going to have a different tone to it. Some are thin sounding, some are bright, some have a rich sound, some project their sound very well. That's what you're listening for. You want to get used to that. Okay, then you want to think about what does it look like? How does it play? Do you like the looks of it? Notice these have a different look. This has what's called a satin finish. This has a gloss finish. We'll talk a little more about the looks in a minute. And so then you want to take it off the wall and you want to try pressing down with your fingers to make your first chord. If you don't know how to make a chord yet, ask a salesman to help you, or you could take a look at a video that I put out with these others that talks about making a C chord. Okay, so now you're holding it, you're making your first chord. Is it easy to press down? That's called the action. If it's easy to press down, that's great. If it's hard to press down, that means the strings are too high off the neck. If you press it down and it makes a buzzing sound, this one doesn't. If it makes a buzzing sound, that means the strings are too low. Generally, music stores are aware of those things and they try to make their ukuleles or purchase ukuleles that are easy to play. So most of them should be pretty easy to play, but you will notice a difference. Because if it's hard to play and you get to where you're playing the chords, you don't want the action to hold you back in any way. Okay, great. Now, let's take a look at the looks here. You'll notice the money, how much does it cost, their styles, acoustic, electric. Between each ukulele, there's different styles. We talked about the size, we talked a little bit about the finish. Some have a solid color. Some people like these kind of finishes that show the grain. There's a satin right here. We talked a little about that. The acoustic electric type, you will see that. That means you can plug it in and run it to a sound system, either a PA system or an amplifier. It'll electrify the sound because it has pickups in here. Just be aware that the sound of the ukulele by itself is going to sound a lot different when it's electrified. You might want to listen to it first before you purchase it. And then you'll have some means to control the sound with volume, sometimes tone shaping. You'll also usually have with the acoustic electrics the ability to tune, use an onboard tuner to help you tune the instrument. You'll play a note and a letter will show up and it'll tell you to tune it up or tune it down. Okay, some people buy the acoustic electrics just for that option. Okay, if you do purchase an acoustic electric, be aware that it's going to be a little more pricey. Another thing about the styles is something called a cutaway. Some people like that because they can play all the way up the neck. If you don't plan on doing that, you don't need it. Some people like the cutaway just because of the looks. Sometimes there's headstocks that look different. The tuners on either side is more traditional. Sometimes they're in line. That's just a look if you like that look. The price, they tend to start about $50. The sweet spot for a good instrument that sounds good is about $120 to $140. A lot of times that'll get you a bag, what's called a gig bag. Sometimes you'll get a tuner you could clip on here, sometimes picks, sometimes strings, looks for those things. From there, the price goes up depending on, if there's a cutaway, if there's something fancy about it, if the woods that they used are better. But the main thing is if it sounds good to you, if it's easy to play, and you generally like the looks of it, paying more money won't necessarily make it sound better. Sometimes it does, sometimes it just has a different sound. Generally, better woods do sound better, but don't think just because you're paying a lot more money that you're getting a better sound. You really have to hear each one because they're all going to have their own unique sound. Okay, great. I think that covers it all, and look forward to talking to you again, and thanks again.